Again, I would like to thank you for joining me here at Driven by Faith Ministries, where I like to look at things with a different point of view. Not a different point of view, but optimistically, and to speak the truth about what I feel on my heart and in my mind. I like to be truthful with myself. And I know I probably will get a lot of rebuttal from this, but I'm not totally convinced. I'm not convinced that Bryan Kohberger did this. I'm just not convinced. I also don't believe Scott Peterson is guilty either. It's just for me, it's just a lack of evidence. And I do understand that when parents have a death. I haven't had a child to die, so I can't say that I know how you would feel. But I know that a lot of times when people die, they want blood. They want to see blood. And speaking of blood, that was one of the things that made me kind of doubt this case. Was there was no blood found on his clothes. These is four people murdered. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about now. And there was no blood on his body. There was no blood on his car. As a matter of fact, when they picked him up, I think I got some footage of them picking him up here. Let's just look at that for a second. Right here, he looks surprised, and the things that he says that his hands aren't cut. I mean, when I've seen this picture, and I'm not defending the guy. I'm just saying, just for me and a judgment of a person, just don't look like he just killed four people. I mean, it just, if is this just me or do somebody else think something else might be going on? This is just a situation that I saw here.
Go off the state, please get your license and registration.
And that's
when you're
what
driving by me there, you're a little too close to back that semi.
that's what the camera does for the remaining. It just points down at the door. And again, for me, I'm just talking about me. I'm just talking about Heineck. There was no blood found on the clothes. None of his blood on the body. None of his blood on the car. And there was no blood found in his home. Now, there was some DNA found on the knife, on the sheath of the knife. Now, it wasn't blood, but it was DNA. There was no knife. There was no blood found on the knife itself. There was no blood. His blood wasn't on the bodies either. And so, again, I'm not defending him, but sometimes I think people can rush to justice when they get hurt. They had an eyewitness, one eyewitness that saw a man with bushy eyebrows and no clear facial identification. And I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. I just for me, it's just not enough. I'm not convinced. I'm just not convinced. They also said that his cell phone did not ping near the house of the murders, and they said that, well, he turned it off. The prosecution said he turned his phone off. So, but that's not proof that he was there. I mean, come on now. The guy was studying to be he was a criminology student. Why commit a crime so sloppy if you were a criminology student? Not just that. I'm just saying. I'm not saying the guy is is innocent, but I'm just saying I'm not convinced that he's the right guy. And if he's not the right guy, then it's a killer out there. The timeline of his movements is very unclear, and they had a lot of assumptions about the facts. You know, um, I just, for me and my heart, I think that they're rushing. Case that the case moved very, very slow. And then all of a sudden, then he take a quick plea deal. There was no full trial. There was no cross examination, and everybody's looking at him as like a guilty person. And he pleaded guilty, but then he's not going to get up there and tell them how he did it. And if somebody was accusing me of something that I didn't do, you have to think about it in another way. I wouldn't get up there and make up no lie if I was innocent about something and then try to make up a way on how I did it. I'm just not convinced. I'm not convinced. Did he plead guilty because of pressure? He didn't want to get the death penalty? Or did he just plead guilty because he was really guilty? I saw that guilty plea, and it was just as dry as some beef jerky, you know. And again, I'm not saying the man is innocent. Only God knows that. But you know, I'm just not convinced. There was some real cases where innocent people, real innocent people, was guilty, man, for years. Let me see. We have this guy here.
Update on a story we've
Listen
been
to this.
following here about a man who spent more than 40 years behind bars for a crime he didn't commit. Kevin Strickland was finally released from prison yesterday after a judge overturned his conviction. In May, the Jackson County, Missouri prosecutor declared Strickland innocent. Aaron Moriarty has followed this case.
And that was an eyewitness that I believe that he was on. We have another guy here. Let's check out this guy right here. After 39 years, excuse that phone ringing. This guy right here was set free after 39 years. After 39 years of wrongfully imprisoned, Ricky Jackson finally was free. Lord, I should turn this phone off. Forgive me about that. This guy was locked up. He didn't commit the crime. He served years. It's just, the guy, thank God he looks well. Some people don't look that well when they get out, but we thank God that he looks well. And it's just a lot of cases, case after case. We have another guy here. Richard Phillips was wrongly convicted in October 5th, 1972. This dude spent 45 years in prison. And so, you just want to be careful about things like this. You want to be real careful. We have some more guys. Anthony Ray, he spent 30 years on death row. And, Anthony Ray walked out of Jefferson County prison, jail in Birmingham, Birmingham, Alabama. He's free. He spent 30 years. He spent 30 years behind bars. We have this guy right here, Richard Phillips. Let's see what they're talking about here. Richard Phillips.
Became operational in the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. And the defense attorneys asked that this case be reinvestigated by the Conviction Integrity Unit. And that's when I took over the case along with Detective Little, read everything, and did some significant reinvestigation into this case, and then made a recommendation.
It's sad that these men had to spend the rest of their lives
Imagine waking up
Listen.
one day accused of a crime you don't remember, your life unraveling as you're convicted and imprisoned. This was the terrifying reality for a young man caught in a web of injustice. In 2001, a brutal murder shocked Columbia, Missouri. 2 years later, 19-year-old Ryan Ferguson was arrested based on a friend's dream and coerced confession. Despite no physical evidence linking him to the crime, Ferguson was convicted, largely due to false witness testimony. After nearly a decade in prison, new evidence exposed police manipulation and lies that led to his wrongful conviction.
I've lied to everybody.
In 2013, his conviction was overturned and he was finally released. After his exoneration, Ryan Ferguson received an $11 million settlement from civil lawsuits, a small measure of justice for the nearly 10 years he unjustly spent in prison. His case highlights the need for reforms to prevent wrongful convictions.
You see, that's what I'm talking about right there. And, you know, yeah, $11 million, you know, yeah, that is a lot of money. $11 million is a lot of money. But if somebody told you they was going to give you $10 million today, but eventually you got to die tomorrow, for most people would choose to live instead of the money. And what's my point? The point is money don't make up for no time. You know, time is more valuable than money. You know, it really is. And so just my point is that, you know, it's I don't know if it's just me, somebody give me some type of comments or some type of feedback, but I just don't think that this guy did this, man. I think that there was pressure on the city and pressure on the town. If I felt that I was going to lose a case, I would choose to live too. So another thing, there is no clear motive that connects him with the victims. There was no clear motive. You know, I think this was a rush to judgment because of the public pressure. You know, sometimes when somebody get killed in a town like that, everybody's so frightened that they just find somebody real quick and convict them, you know, and, you know, just to kind of get things back to normal. You know, my thing is this, and I'm not going to hold you too long, in an age where facial recognition and smart tech, you know, you can fly a man to the moon and fly somebody back in a jet and make it land exactly in the same place. And my question is, how do you build a case on eyebrows? On eyebrows, you know? Is it possible he's guilty? Could be. But the evidence just doesn't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt? Possibly. But do we trust the justice system when it has been wrong so many times? If anybody have any feedback on that, please give me some feedback on some comments or something like that, so we can open some dialect on this. I could be wrong, but I'm just not convinced that this guy is guilty. God bless, and be careful, and have a blessed day.